Did Kenny Pickett just ruin his career? Let's dig into that. Welcome back to the Deep Digger Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. The craziness of free agency is in full swing. Justin Fields practically had nowhere to go, no home. There was no starting jobs, no backup jobs for him. Steelers were linked to Justin Fields right from the get-go, from the start of this offseason. Didn't work out. They went with Russell Wilson. They had Kenny Pickett on the roster. And it felt like there was going to be this kind of quarterback battle between them. And right now, Kenny Pickett's getting kind of roasted for him not wanting to sit behind Russell Wilson or even go through a quarterback battle. I'm not sure if they told him, you're for sure not going to be the starter this year, which would be kind of weird for a guy who you invested a first round pick in. Yeah, he didn't show that he is valid in being your full-time starter, but you got to think they'd at least tell Kenny, we're bringing in Russ. We don't know if he still got it, but we're going to, fill it out and see which one of you guys can win out and be a starter. He doesn't want to do that, which, he has that right. I think it is not a great move. He's getting flamed right now on Twitter and Instagram. People saying that he went from being maybe a backup to for sure a backup for this next season. And we'll talk about Justin in a second, but Kenny, I think this isn't a terrible move for him. You look at Mitch Trubisky, and Mitch Trubisky is the blueprint for backup quarterbacks in the NFL. How many times do you hear, oh, well, this guy can go be a backup and, Mitch Trubisky, get a Mitch Trubisky contract. If you sit for a year on a good team, you get to get this label of, I was learning. I learned from this really good quarterback. I learned from this coach. And you get to, repair the image a bit. You buffer yourself. You distance yourself from the bad play. And so Kenny Pickett could, and we saw he was a preseason All-American in the way he was playing for the Steelers in the preseason last year. So if he can show some flashes in the preseason, maybe come in and clean up, a blowout win or an ugly loss here and there. I mean, Sam Darnold just got a 1 year $10 million deal where he might be a bridge starter for someone now. I think Kenny Pickett kind of falls under that, where you get 1 year to sit, repair the image, distance from bad, and he could get a contract in a year from now. As someone, if you're a first round pick, there's always going to be a team that's like, let's take a chance on him. Let's see if he has something left in the tank. If he had the talent there before, he definitely still has it, right? And so he's in not a terrible spot. Now, Justin Fields, the Steelers played this perfectly. All offseason, they're like, nah, we have our guys. Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett. Mason Rudolph wasn't even on the roster. And they're saying, no, we have Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. They went with Russ, get him in that 1 year, and they get Justin Fields for nothing. They get him for potato chips. Not even that. They get him for the off-brand. And now you get to get him in there. I think, personally, for me, he shows a lot more upside than Russ. He's a lot younger. He's mobile. He can make some highlight plays. It's just the consistency. Can he throw over the middle of the field? Can he sit in the pocket? We already saw Russ doesn't like to throw over the middle of the field in this offense with Art Smith. They want to do that. I would start him right away. I would do a quarterback battle, and as long as he doesn't look bad, as long as he doesn't look terrible in the preseason, I would start him. Now, they've already come out and leaked Russell Wilson's starter, Justin Fields the backup. How long that lasts, I don't know. We thought, okay, maybe Russ came in with less ego. Maybe he's coming in thinking, I'll do a quarterback battle. Let me repair my image. Let me be a team guy. I don't think that's what happened. I think he came in, they were thinking, if it's Kenny, maybe we'll do a quarterback battle. But you can't cut Kenny and then have a guy, Justin Fields, come in who is not your guy. It's another guy you're taking a flyer on and be like, all right, quarterback battle, Russ. Like, no, Russ is not. I feel like Russ would have tore up that contract and not signed. So now that you got Justin Fields in there, you kind of have to, stroke Russ's ego a little bit and be like, no, you're the guy. Don't worry. You're going to start. This guy is just a young piece we want on the roster, and we'll see with him, but for sure you're our guy, which is fine. But wouldn't you rather have the younger guy who's more dynamic, who can make highlight plays, who has a higher ceiling, kind of just go out there from day one? Like Justin Fields has been in the league for years. There's nothing he's going to learn on the bench. I'm sure he can learn a little bit here and there from Russ, like how to be a more professional quarterback, how to, come up with catchphrases, how to, you know, invest in real estate that has a lot of bathrooms. But as far as becoming a good quarterback on the field, I think Justin needs reps. And I think both of these guys kind of got the opposite of what they really wanted if it's going to really benefit their career. Like Russ, I think needed to go somewhere that doesn't stroke his ego, that makes him go through a quarterback battle, and that makes him prove that he can still be a starter in this league and pushes him to work harder. Maybe not work harder, but pushes him to perform. And Justin, I think, needed a spot that was like, listen, we don't got another option right now. You're the starter. We're not going to yank you. Just go out there, play ball. At the end of the day, it's football. Go do what you know how to do. And they both got the opposite. Now they got Russ, for sure, starter. And now if you want to pull him later, like he's not going to be happy about that. Justin Fields, he's a backup. Let's see how many reps he gets, because it's going to be hard for Justin Fields to get some reps in live game when the Steelers team is really good. They have a good defense. They have good weapons. And Russ just needs to not fuck it up for them to be 9 wins, 10 wins. So unless Russ falls even more off a cliff, I don't expect Justin Fields in there until late in the season, if anything. And then you're playing this game where did this Mitch Trubisky situation help Justin Fields for next year's offseason? Does it make anyone feel any more comfortable or more sure of Justin Fields to give him that contract? And I don't think it does. I think he needs to show that he can do something on the field as a quarterback and do it consistently. And that's what he needed to get that next contract, to get a really good next contract. The league told you. We try to tell you that no one believes in Justin Fields, that it's a risk to give up a second and a third or whatever, and then sign him a contract and make him your guy. But we can say that all day on here. The league straight up told the entire Chicago fan base, the entire league fan base, that they don't believe in Justin Fields. Otherwise, he would have been traded for before Mac Jones. He would have been moved, before Russ signed. People thought he was going to be the number one guy off the board this offseason. And it just so happened to turn out he was the last guy off. And I think he's a starter in this league. So I hope he does find his way on the field for the Steelers, because I think that's a good fit. And I think he can win games for them and he can develop a little bit. But it's not looking too great for his next contract right now. And if he wants to be a starter, it's definitely not looking great right now for his next contract. But we'll see. Only time will tell how it's going to shake out in Pittsburgh. Go in and let me know in the comments how you think this is going to work out. Are you thinking Justin Fields is going to be a starter? Do you think Russell Wilson just keeps the job? He's looking good enough. Go and let us know. Go and like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.